I got something to talk about. Good topic. Well, this one can go on and on and on. I'll have to talk about it again, but it's going to be the intentions of your heart versus the exterior actions versus your exterior actions. So the world goes by the exterior actions and cares nothing about the intention of the heart, or very little about it. It's only the actions. And then God cares about the intentions of the heart and not very much about the exterior actions. Isn't that funny? That's where our duality comes from between what the world thinks and what God wants. So let's look at me. Best way to go about this. So back when I was a novice on the Holy Path, I was fixed on God so much that work was less important, my family was less important. I had no time for everybody. I had to go pray and be with God. That's all I wanted to do. And so exteriorly, you could look at me, not knowing my home life, and say, "Wow, look at that guy! How he loves God, and he goes to church every day, and he goes at night and prays." And so you would see exterior that I look like a holy person. And here, I wasn't. I mean, come on, I'm new on the path, so I'm not very holy. I'm just looking for God and praying and loving on Him. I'm not much in knowledge of what you do in life, right? I'm new at this. So I had a mother superior who was my mentor, and she's the one that helped me with that, about focusing on my family. She says to me one time, she goes, "So, I saw your van at the church last night around midnight." And I think she's going to compliment me like, "Oh, look how you love God, be there." So here she goes. She goes, "So," she goes, "Do you know what holiness is?" I says, "No." She goes, "Do you know where it begins?" I says, "No." She says, "It begins at home." She goes, "Your wife is the Blessed Mother, and your son is Jesus." She goes, "You got to be back there taking care of them. That's where holiness is. Not your knees in front of the crucifix at midnight." She goes, So that was the end of that. My brain went into firework mode, man. I got it. I saw it. And I stopped coming to church late at night and all that. And I was home. I was fixed on my family and to take care of them. I really, really got it. That holiness was at home. And I wasn't even thinking about taking care of the neighbors. And at that point, I just was, I got to take care of home. I got to love them like I never did. I got to take care of all their needs. I got to anticipate all their needs. And that's what I spent the next 2 years doing. That was holiness. So the world didn't even see me anymore. So they don't think I'm doing anything. They go, "Oh, look at that guy. He was praying. Now he's not even going to church anymore. That guy, he's a backslider." Who knows what they think, if they're even looking. But we're just taking this as an example. So my exterior actions the world sees, and that's all they go by. They don't even ask you what you're doing. Okay, so with God now, so look at God at me in that situation. He sees me coming to Him every night, sitting on my knees, praying, loving on Him. And here He's looking down at me and saying, "Son, look at your family. You left them in the lurch. They feel left alone. They don't feel taken care of. They don't feel loved, that you want to be there. They feel like you want to be their secondary. That's your secondary home, isn't it?" That's what He was thinking. So the intentions of the heart is everything. 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 A guy in jail for 20 years, who knows what the intentions of his heart is, was, were, what his state is. You don't know. And that wonderful guy that the papers is building up, putting up on pedestal and how wonderful he is, that's all from exterior actions. So who knows what's inside him? And you can see this today. All these people heroes become fallen heroes because they dig up some some past dirt in them. Oh, the world loves to do that to you. Oh, they'll lift you up. Oh, they'll lift you up. And then the first thing they find out that they don't like, they'll tear you down. To be content or to be happy with the applause of the world, to stand there on stage and feel that applause and glorify in it, is just sickening to a monk. Sickening. We wouldn't pay to be in that spot. So what's going on in your mind and your soul? Someone's standing there in that vanity. Those people, you know what, that individually, what are they doing? They're not even thinking about you. They're laughing. They're saying, come on, let's get something to eat. We're out of here. They're just clapping. They're not even thinking about you, most of them. But there you are, thinking it's the top of the world. Look at me. They love me. That's pride. That's that ugly, ugly pride face. Pride head that sticks up out of us. We all have it. Not quite the same with that lady. Look at little O. He likes to stop and smell the roses. That's why. Wow, look at this fallen tree over there. That thing is gigantic. That was 200 foot tall, or around 150, somewhere around there. It fell from a lightning strike many, many years ago when I first moved here. I heard it and found it like weeks later. That was a boom. That shook the ground. My house is like, I don't know, it's not very close to here, and I felt it at the house. So the intentions of the heart is everything. That's what God's looking at, and that's what you're not paying attention to. So here's a great little story. I made this one up years ago. I used to tell this a lot to the kids. Okay, you're with Jesus in heaven, and you're going over your life, and then you're just looking at him. You go, remember the time? Remember the time I spoke at that stadium and 5,000 people were saved? And the Lord says, I remember that day. I remember you were running late, and you were going down the street in your hurried state, and that little boy who was sitting on the curb, his shoelaces were untied, he couldn't tie them, he was crying, and nobody would help him. And you could have stopped. You could have stopped and sat down, took time, and tied the shoe and showed them that. But no, you were in a big hurry. So that was a missed opportunity there on that day. And so when you were speaking to all those people, I was with that little boy on the curb. I don't even remember what you said. So I made up that little story. I mean, we're in such our goals and our ambitions are our worst enemy. All these people with drive to be great have some issue in them from their childhood, most likely, that causes the drive in you. If you don't have drive, you didn't have a trauma as a child. That's me. I didn't have trauma, so I have no drive. I have no ambition to do anything, to create great things. That comes from trauma. They studied one time all the great people in the world. They put them into the computer. When they first came up with the computer, they didn't know what to do with it. So they said, let's put all the great people in there, the great leaders, and try to find the common denominator. And they did this, and they're all guessing. They went to college, almost, all of them. No, this was something that they all had to have. If 99% had it, they didn't want it. They wanted to see what they all had. And guess what? This was the one thing all these great leaders had, from Churchill, all of them. Guess what? It was childhood trauma. They all had childhood trauma. That's what drive comes from. That's where we found that out. That was what the work the psychologists up to that was this first computer program. So intentions of the heart. Watch yourself all day. That's how you know who you are. That's how you know what God's looking at, and that's how you won't blindside yourself and stand before the Lord. I didn't know, Lord, that this is what you were wanting. Well, just watch what's going on in you. So if I'm doing a great volunteer thing, charity thing, and if my love isn't there, genuine love to help them, and it's some other idea, some other motive I got going on, your good works is going right out the window. It chalks up as vanity. Anything that you feel good about and get glorified inside about, if it happens and you feel good and they applaud you, guess what? You get no merit for it. I don't care what it is. You got your glory. That's it. So to watch the attentions of your heart is a full-time job. You are so tricky. We are so tricky. Our minds, we are so tricky. Just like the body's tricky. As soon as you start working out and the body catches up to you, it won't burn your body anymore. It burns everything but the body. You have to trick the body. God made a glorious, glorious creation with this body and this mind and this combination of souls. It's incredible. Did you ever think about it to the full potential? That anything that anybody did great in the history of mankind that you know about, put them all into one person. Well, that's a human being. Every incredible thing you ever heard done, put them all to one being, and that's who we are. And to think you came out of the ground like a toad with no creator, as alive from the pit of hell, and if you buy into it, you're just going to go down to the grave with your body instead of aligning with your soul that is eternal. So your belief is where it will take you. So if you believe there's no God, I don't know, I know you don't receive God, I don't know what happens to you, but your belief takes you to these places at the end, guys. Your belief system, you better look deeply at what your belief system is.